make it a surprise. So I bought her a set of tire leaders, and I think that'll work. I think. See, last year I got it wrong. She wanted something fresh, dynamic, clean, floral to spray behind her ears. Very expensive. So I bought her a bottle of Sillet Bang. I thought, well, 4 out of 5 is okay. But I have my routine at Christmas. At Christmas, I like to go Christmas Eve to Sainsbury's to pick up a really good, succulent bird for Christmas. And a Christmas lunch. She works as a checkout. I usually take her back the following day. But, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about something much more serious. Sex. Sex is very important. I think about it an awful lot. But whereas years ago my brain used to email my penis with the information, it's now sending it by post. Second class. But I have found the wonders of Viagra. And I want to talk to you at some length about Viagra because it's very important. And I can see around the room that many of you are taking it. Viagra doesn't work right away. So the first thing to remember is don't take it in the bathroom and then rush into the bedroom, dive on the bed shouting Geronimo, because it's likely that nothing will actually be happening for about 45 minutes. Equally, don't take it in the bathroom, wait 45 minutes, and forget to mention it to the wife. When I did, I stood by the bed and said, get a load of this, and she said, very nice, hung her bed jacket on it, and went to sleep. The other thing is it lasts an awful long time. Hours. And I didn't have a lot of use. But I found that if I hung a little bell from the end, the budgie quite liked it as a bird. The other thing you must remember is that don't forget that you have, if I can use the medical term, stiffy. Don't forget you've got a stiffy and open the front door. Our paper boy doesn't deliver to us anymore. And the disaster that was Bobber John Week. As I said to the officer, quite why the boy should be so scared of a budgie, I have no idea. The budgie was clearly traumatised by it all because, sadly, 2 weeks later, I found he'd hung himself from his billet. And as I pushed my ear up against his feet to hear his final words, he just said, "Who's a pretty boy?" Do you remember, well, not many of you will remember, but Phil certainly remember, Rod will remember, the doctors of 40 years ago, the doctors' surgeries. You used to go to the surgeries in those days, and it wouldn't be all appointments and things, you'd just sit in the waiting room, there'd be hundreds of you, little semi-detached houses, and the doctor used to keep opening the door going, yes, next please. And you wait so long. I remember being in there in sort of 1960 sometimes, and the guy behind me was dressed as a Home Guard uniform. God knows how long he'd been. And he moved his head slightly, and behind him was a Viking. say. Then he went to see the doctor, and you open the door, and plumes of blue smoke would waft out, and the doctor would be sitting there smoking his pipe. And his fingers were all brown with nicotine. At least I think it was nicotine. And he had a very special sort of way of looking after elderly patients. He would hide behind the door. And when an elderly lady walked in, he'd pull the rug away so she could get used to having a fall. Very considerate like that. I remember I went there once with terrible constipation, and he sat me down and he said, "I'm terribly sorry to tell you this, but you've only got 48 hours to live." That did it. And I remember whenever he used to go to the doctors, he'd always say, "Drop your trousers." And he would hold your balls and ask you to cough. And I only went there with a Farouk. And he would do it every time I saw him. Every time he'd just say, "Oh, drop your trousers." Cough. Every time. I mean, it was terribly embarrassing one day when he passed me at the bus. But surgeries are so much more modern places now. I mean, I go to our modern practice for sexual guidance. I don't need any guidance, I just like to reminisce. But ladies and gentlemen, the spirit of Christmas isn't dead. I can tell you that. People get friendly at Christmas. You know, they get warmer and happier and jollier. I was on the train the other day, and there was this elderly couple sitting beside me, and this chap sort of met for him, and he said, "Sit there." I said, "Oh, no." He said, "You going up to town?" I said, "Yes, it is." And his wife said, "What's he say?" He said he's going up to town on the train. "And where are you going?" I said, "Oh, I've got a bit of business in the West End, a bit of business." "What's he say?" "He's got a bit of business in the West End." "And where else do you go on the train?" I said, "I'm going to St Albans and Hatfield, places like that." He said, "Oh." "What's he say?" "He's going Hatfield and St Albans. He goes to on the train." I said, I can remember, reminiscing that years ago I met a woman in St Albans, and I had a sexual encounter with her, and it was the worst sex I'd ever had in my entire life. "What's he say?" "He says he thinks he knows you."